Welcome back to Three Ball Walk. Julio, Bob, and Eddie here, and we were talking about the home run that wasn't, where Real Muto hit the shot dead center field, past the runner rounding first base. But to move on to this as a segue into the next section, that ball landed at the base in the water part of that marlin that goes around, what they call the structure, and balls that have hit there are hit a long way.
That's a long way from home.
When you hit that dead center field, into the structure, and I've seen Giancarlo nail that structure, but last Friday night, he not only nailed that structure, he hit it about 40 feet over the structure, over the facade, and out of the fish tank. And when I say fish tank, out of the stadium, because they have the roof, and then over there they have that window that slides open, and he hit it through the window out into the parking lot somewhere. 496 feet, 490 feet, 400 and whatever feet.
Officially measured now at 490 from real distance.
Is that what it is?
490. 490. Longest home run of the year. Easily.
And I did see, and going into the long bombs, and you're always an advocate of they're only worth one run.
It's only worth one run. In this case, it was worth two because there was a runner on.
That's right.
And if there's two runners on, it's worth three. And if the bases are loaded, it's worth four.
But it's the same if it just makes it over the fence.
Just has to crawl over. In fact, you can 8 it over and bounce off the glove, and it still counts the same.
About 3 innings earlier, Christian Yelich right before hit one about 468.
He hit a bomb.
He hit a bomb. And it's interesting, 2 450-foot home runs in the same game by the same team. And they had, Yelich was actually on first base. There were 2 great calls, I thought. One, and I cannot remember who it was the White Sox announcer, and it was Abreu that hit the home run that same night. And that one was 451 or something like that. And it was amazing because, and here, they did the radio same time. Here's the windup, the stretch, the pitch, home run. Right, it hasn't even left the infield, and the guy says, home run Abreu, and then not, it's back, left center, but, I mean, home run Abreu. Then they showed the Yelich one, which was up in the upper deck, center field.
That was a bomb.
And then they showed, which was the Stanton one, and Christian Yelich is on first base, who had just hit one a few, and the minute Stanton hits it, he just goes, like, well, you know it. When that gets hit.
Well, the ball came off the bat at 118 miles an hour. So, yeah, it's at that launch angle, it didn't have any doubt where
it was going.
It was just how far. Was it going to knock the head off the marlin when it was spinning around?
But 2 by the same team, 450 or more. Did you see the number on 450-foot home runs with Stanton? Did you have?
This is a cool stat.
No, but I got another stat for you. Go ahead.
31. He's hit 31 home runs since 2010. Of 450 feet or more. Okay? Second place is Justin Upton with 16. He's almost got double what the second place guy has. The most amazing part of that stat, and I just told you the Marlins hit 2 that night because Yelich hit one 468, he hit the one 490. The team with the most is the Toronto Blue Jays with 35. The Colorado Rockies have 32. Those are the only 2 teams that have hit more 450-foot home runs than Stanton has over the last 6 years.
Oh, the last 6 years.
Yeah, 6 years.
Okay.
Since 2010, Stanton's hit 31, the Rockies have hit 32, and the Blue Jays have hit 35.
Well, there have been 20 home runs this year over 450 feet, and Stanton has 2 of those. So 10% of the home runs over 450 feet have been Stanton. And he crushes them. So he's had 9 this year. He's had 9 home runs over 400 feet.
Yeah,
which means out of that number, they're all gone out.
I'll tell you, and we can bring up a lot of names. I remember McGuire in 1998, and ironically, the shortest home run that he hit that year was that last one. The line drive
barely got over
left field, the left field corner.
It still counted, right?
It still counted.
Still counted to set the record, right?
But he would hit some up in the Big Mac, the Mac attack zone or whatever they called it there.
Yeah, I bet McDonald's hated that, man. I bet McDonald's,
they sponsored it.
I know, I bet they loved it, but I bet they hated it when everyone landed up there.
I saw Pujols one time hit one out of the Disney Stadium. We were in the grass, and it looked like a vapor trail behind it, and it hit somebody's car, and set off their car alarm. But it was like
At Wide World of Sports.
at Wide World of Sport out of the stadium, and you're sitting there just going, "Holy crap!" And it was like that. Your head snapped. I remember my neck popped, and when I looked at it, and I'm doing a lot of baseball.
You were there live.
I was there live. You've been up in a lot of
Farthest
baseball
home run
games.
you've ever seen hit? Pujols?
Live, yeah. That was
Farthest
unbelievable.
home run you've seen?
Live?
Live.
Well, when I was a high school kid, Bo Jackson's cousin hit one that we were playing at night, and when it left the yard, it went over the lights. Over the lights.
Wow.
Not through the lights, it went over the lights. That was a high school stadium, so hard to tell how far it went, but it went a long way. But then when I was in college, we were playing at Centenary. I was playing at Sanford, and we were playing at Centenary in the conference tournament, and our pitcher gave up an absolute bomb to one of their hitters. And it was 376 to the power rally, and it went over the fence, 12-foot high fence. It went over that. There were 4 parking spots in the parking between the baseball stadium and then the basketball complex. It went over all 4 of those. The basketball complex was 20 feet on the other side, and it hit halfway up the wall.
That's a shot.
Now,
That was a shot.
I wasn't there for this one. There's 2. One I was there for. I told you before we started taping. I saw Kevin Mitchell hit one in Fulton County. That if it was still rising when it hit the Coke sign, but on the Coke sign you could hear it reverberating. We were down by the third base dugout, and we were sitting there right before he hit it, and we moved down the inning before because we're sitting back then. Nobody was. It was like 4.
Sort of like now.
Yeah, 409 people there, so you can sit wherever you want. They didn't care, and we moved down. If we had stayed there, it landed in our lap. But I was in there for this one. But Frank Thomas hit one here when he was with Auburn, that went over into the O-Dome. Do you remember that one?
No, but Matt Laporta hit several off the O-Dome.
O-Dome.
Yeah, Frank Thomas hit one that people still talk about.
And Zanino hit one off the O-Dome.
And I can't remember the first baseman way back when Alex Fernandez threw a one-hitter for 9 innings, left the game 0-0, UM here, and I wish I remembered our first baseman back then. This is 1989, give or take. And in the 10th inning, off the reliever, bounced one off the O-Dome that was just, at that time, the farthest one. I'll tell you the one, about 4 years before that, mid-'80s, spring training Clearwater, and you just mentioned you saw his cousin hit one. I saw Bo hit. Bo hit the farthest home run I've ever seen. Dead center field, Jack Russell Stadium in Clearwater. Center field, on the other side is their complex where their clubhouse is and everything like that, and it cleared that building. Dead center field over the building that was out there with the batting cages.
Well, the dad saw Pool's. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, Bo Jackson, and he hit some prolific shots.
Unbelievable. The day I saw Pool's at Disney, he hit 2 home runs that day. The first one he hit was a dead center field, and you know how the scoreboard was like that. He hit dead in the middle of the scoreboard. It was still rising then, too. And Andrew Jones threw the ball back in, and the ball was going back in like this. It was warped going in. He crushed it. And we're sitting there. The first one, you go, oh, my gosh, I can't believe that. And then he hits a second one. You're like, whew. I mean, I could have been watching cable today. I mean, it's like...
Do you guys remember, and I know we're all roughly the same age, do you guys remember Mickey Mantle playing it all on TV? 'Cause I'll be honest, I really don't.
I don't remember seeing Mantle play on TV.
And I think part of it is, after '64, the Yankees weren't a very good team. And I think since there was the one This Week in Baseball game, the Yankees just...
They didn't play very much on it. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember seeing the Yankees play that often.
That's,
And but of course, '64, I was 3, so I wasn't quite there.
Well, there was
yet.
one game, and New York wasn't we've got to get the Yankees and Red Sox no matter how good or bad they are, but we got to get them on
They had
TV
to rotate
this
all the
weekend.
teams.
But as a kid growing up, the home run that sticks in my mind of all the home runs that I ever saw is Reggie off a light transformer in the All-Star game in '71. And that's one of the great things about YouTube
Detroit.
is they have
You
a
can watch
bunch of those
that.
games complete, and that's a lot of fun. But I think there's 7 or 8 guys at home run. Clemente hits one.
Bobby Bonilla hit one in
Bonilla was
'97
awesome.
out of Tiger Stadium. Same exact place. Guy said that's the same place, just a little to the right, so it didn't hit the light transformer. It went out of the stadium, went out of Tiger Stadium. And then some guy came to the clubhouse after the game trying to get the ball back. Hey, can I get some money for the ball and everything like that? And he goes, this isn't it. And what it was a ball from the Marlins batting practice because it was a National League baseball, and in that game they were using American League balls, so there was no way that would have been the one that you got.
Hilarious.
This is the one, I got it out in the street. No, you didn't.
He's selling on eBay right now all day long.
It's still that guy trying to get it authenticated this weekend.
Exactly right. He was there.
There have been some stories made up in the past of how balls, how far balls have traveled. And there was a story written that you can find as I looked up and sort of tried to debunk some of those, like the fact that Ruth hit one, 600 feet.
Right.
Okay, so not 600 feet, but probably 470 feet when they went back and actually measured it after where it landed. And Mantle in 1953 was credited with hitting one 650 something feet. And they went back.
The one in Washington?
Yes, they went back and actually tracked it 510 feet. Still
a shot.
Still pretty impressive, 500 feet. And then Klingman did one in 76 that went 530 feet.
Dave Kingman could hit.
Dave Kingman.
Crush.
I mean,
And there's a great classic about Josh Gibson, where he hit one out of a park, and then the next day they're in some different town, and a ball falls from the sky, and the umpire goes, "You're out yesterday in Pittsburgh." It's on the Ken Burns baseball video. It's an awesome story. Kingman could crush the ball. I mean,
you just had some of those big guys, and that was pre-steroids issue.
I remember Dave Kingman.
Yeah, I remember him.
Harmon Killebrew.
Boone Powell.
Frank Howard. Frank
Howard. Okay, so I'm in a celebrity softball game. I used to do comedy way back. Light hair. It was a great time. And so Sam McDowell was our manager on our softball team. And nobody was talking to him. He was way down. I was funny. I want to talk to this guy. I used to have his cards.
Sam McDowell.
Sam McDowell. I said, Sam. I got to talk to him. I go, Mr. McDowell, can I ask you a couple of questions? He's like, yeah, what do you want? And I'm like, who is the hardest guy for you to get out? Frank Howard. I said, really? He owned me. And just looked away. I'm like, sorry.
Sorry to bring up that. He's the reason why I'm a celebrity softball manager.
He owned me. I saved my brain. Oh, they know.
They know. I'll tell you. One of the things Jim Leland always used to like was batter pitcher matchups, and he would get him on the plane when we're going to the next city, and he would sit there and know if Al Leiter was pitching, Kevin Brown, boom, and their entire lineup, what each guy had done against everything. He would keep it in the back, and all of a sudden, I would sit there and look in the 8th inning, and there's a guy getting ready, and I would get out I'd see Jim go to the thing, and I'd look on the sheet, and I knew who the pinch hitter was going to be, or I knew who the pitcher was going to be, because he was using that stuff. Well, the only guy that ever asked me for it when I would give Gary Sheffield, you give Jim the batter pitcher matchups? I said, yeah. And now this stuff is available on the internet. But back then you actually had to really dig stuff and everything. He says, yeah. He goes, you mind getting it? I go, yeah, but we'll play our game, because we would do this all the time. And we'd be going to Atlanta. Glavin, he says, not good. I'm probably hitting about 220. I have 2 bombs though off of him. It would be 225 with 2 bombs. Then Maddox, I own him. He's the one, I'm the one, you ask him. And he would sit there and tell me every guy, batting average within 10 points, but exactly how many bombs he had hit off each pitch.
Well, chicks dig the long balls, okay? That's what
Which
you
is
think
why
about.
the whole steroid era began.
It was, and it saved and whatever you want to say.
It saved baseball.
It saved baseball and put it back on the map. We went back to this year for home runs for just a second. Who do you think has the longer home run? Jake Arrieta, Bryce Harper, or Trevor Story?
Trevor Story had a big hit. By the way, we broke the Story.
Story was our story.
Right here. Since he said it like that, I got a feeeling it's Jake Arrieta. I just have a feeling, because I know how Eddie is.
No.
Really,
Trevor Story has one for 445.
I lose.
But Arrieta has the next biggest one at 442, ahead of Bryce Harper, whose longest home run is 439 feet. I mean, he's a lightweight.
How far was Bartolo Colon's?
Probably longer.
Just barely over the fence,
Hey,
but I'll tell you what.
It doesn't matter. It counts.
31 seconds around the bases.
He took his time. He made sure it was going to take. He
was running as fast as he could.
He was.
Sorry.
Well, I can't believe. I mean, time flies when we're doing these
so
things.
much fun.
We hope you guys are enjoying them. We have a lot of fun making them. You can find us on Facebook down beneath us. Send us an email there at 3BallWalk, and we hope that you go out this week and play some baseball. Make sure you watch some baseball, and tell your friends about 3BallWalk on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel. We love you. Have a great day.
Thanks.
Play ball.
Play ball.